Hey friends, thanks once again for tuning into the TCS Digital Connect. We hope you're finding our podcast series useful and informative.
Dear listeners, welcome to the another episode of TCS Digital Connect podcast series. Today we have an interesting speaker, Mr. Kovid Savla, who was a part of TCS Digital Impact Square's first batch. Currently, he is co-founder and CEO of Ideaway Technologies. Kovid Savla is a BTech in Electronics and Communication from Ellen Mittal Institute of Information Technology, Jaipur, who has done a certification course in entrepreneurship at IIM Rohtak also. He founded Adiwit Technologies 3 years ago and has performed various leadership roles and has won 15 plus projects till date. All his 10 projects at Adiwit Technologies have been tested, deployed, and have generated revenue. FICCI, CII, National Governance Forum, and other platforms have acknowledged his projects, and they have won 3 national level awards too. Currently, COVID manages the stakeholder engagement and networking, business and financial aspects, and execution of projects. As an individual, he is passionate and always willing to take responsibilities to create an impact. COVID started his IT journey in Nasik city from March 2016 with TCS Digital Impact Square with an aim to provide innovative, smart, and advanced digital solution for real-time crime detection and prevention. With the guidance from Nasik City Police Administration and TCS Digital Impact Square, Third Eye platform was co-created by his team and Nasik Police. Many versions were subsequently developed, tested and piloted in the field and validated. Third Eye has won numerous awards including Smart Policing Initiative 2017-18 by FICCI in Smart Police Station category. Welcome COVID to the Digital Connect podcast series.
Thanks, Nishant. So, hello everyone.
So you are from the first batch of TCS Digital Impact Square. So just tell me, how did you come to know about it?
This, as I know, we were looking for a social platform because I and my colleague, to be honest, we were looking for developing something in education sector. So, and we came to know about this. Disk is actually focusing on this education or organizing some social entrepreneurship. So, and we again, like in the previous session, I mentioned how did I join. So around 11 teams has joined in different sector. So in the very first month, I switched back to personal security. I changed my theme, I changed my challenge statement and everything. So and my team member, somebody was from Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, then Tamil Nadu, somebody from Bihar, somebody from Jharkhand. So we had a pretty good team, and we around 50 people of total budding entrepreneurs were there. The mentors were also quite very experienced. The ambience was very good. The network of TCS Digital Impact Square was actually very nice. So we get to know in the very first or 2 months we get to meet with the commissioner, with the deputy commissioner. So that was a very big thing at that time. This has contributed a lot. So we get to meet with big corporates, big government administrations. So there were it has been divided like that way. So first 6 months is a pro phase where we have to identify a challenge and we have to make a minimum viable product. And if it is got selected by the jury and by the customer, then it went on with grow phase. And after grow phase, you can register your own company and then you can scale it. We cleared the program, we then cleared the grow phase and everything.
Okay, so that's interesting. So I just wanted to get more into your startup. Okay, so how did you conceive this startup idea? Like, what was that trigger point when you thought, okay, I want to do something on my own and do something for the society?
Okay. So the most difficult and interesting part was when we were into primary research. So let's say, just give you an example. Let's say you have to file an FIR. Okay. So first you will go to police station, then you might be welcome or not. Then you will write a lot of information in a letter. Then somebody from the police will type it out. Then after some days, it will give you copy, and then you will keep going to police station every month. What is the status of my affairs? register the same FIR, they type the FIR at least 7 times. So they type it, they first make their own register. First in the diary, they will make a diary entry, then they will register as a FIR. Then they will create a daily crime report. Then they will share it with the control room. The control room will share it with all the ACPs, DCPs, commissioner, whoever is the authority. Then they will send a copy to Director General Office. So one FIR was repeated around 7 to 8 times in a general way. And let's say around in a city, in a small city, around 50 people are involved in the same process. Now, every month there is a crime meeting when they focus on how many FIR has been registered and what is the status, and have you sold it, have been disposed or what. So for that, another team consolidate all this information from each and every police station. What is the status? What is the follow-ups taken and everything. Then they create lot of presentation and then they give it to police. So let's say around very majority of police is involved in paper rather than on the field where they should be searching, where they should take follow-ups and take investigation and everything. So let's say around 60%, 70% of police is involved in paperwork only, rather than patrolling, rather they be on the field and everything. And this is all repetitive. This is not a very motivating task or something. This is just very frustrating task. Their general duty hours, let's say 12 to 14 hours. So, and the situation in control room is really very bad. I attended one day of control room calls. So we attended around 2,000 calls. So in those 2,000 calls, 1,700 were the blank calls. Just somebody just call 100 and kept it done. Out of around 200, they were prank calls. Somebody either was abusing, somebody was child, hello police uncle or something like that. So some, and let's say 70 five calls were some informative. He want number of this inspector or this somebody, some information was required. Only 30 out of 2,000 were actually actionable calls, which required police to act on it. So the situation in control room is that bad, to be very honest. And we say so there are lots many things which actually we can intervene. We can reduce your manpower. So ultimately, that's why we came to slowly we combined all of our ideas to a single platform that is Third Eye.
Okay. So I think they would have thought, okay, so this guy is here to solve our problems, to make our life very easy. Okay. So coming to your startup. Okay. So every organization has sort of a story behind how did you name how did you name your organization, and how many members are there? So is there any interesting story about your startup, or how did you name it? Something like that?
See, after around 1.5 year, uh, police has given us lot of data, including the very detailed map of Nashik city. We have designed a map, digital map of Nashik city. We have hotspot. We have locations of around all the accident of last 3 years. We have locations of all the crimes. We have locations, even let's say 500 criminal locations were given to us. So what we tried to map all this platform in a single uh, dashboard. So all of the information, all of the FIRs and AD accident reports and missing reports and information, we were able to create, we were able to visualize in a single dashboard. So that's why Third Eye would be the correct name for the platform. And actually, police also start calling it Third Eye. So we suggested different names also, but even today they themselves police themselves call it Third Eye only. I think this is after 3 or 4 names. In fact, one was suggested the Singham should be we should name it Singham.
And how did Adabit Technologies name came into picture? I think it would be an interesting story. So just let us know about it.
See, okay, so there are two theories. So we were two co-founders. So Adesh and co with me. So and Third Eye was the name of the platform. So I named it. I wanted to take the name from Sanskrit or some Hindi word. So I said ki Adi Vid we will keep it. So Adi means beginning and Vid means wisdom. So let's begin the wisdom. So and it was coincidentally matching with our name. So AD Adesh, I for third eye, and Vid from COVID. So AD Vid we finalized the name. So we will
Interesting
take
to know that you included Sanskrit and your names also in that, giving your name to your startup as well. Okay, interesting. So, so as like we all know that once somebody start any organization as a startup, okay, so they face a lot of challenges on personal front, on professional front. So, any of those challenges which you faced during your initial times, and how did you overcome it?
Okay. So, Nishant, actually, we were, as I told earlier, we were initially incubated at Digital Impact Square. So, we spent like first year in the disk itself while commencing our startup. So, at there only, I think, uh, first let me go through what the professional problem we were facing. So, police department, as you all know, it's very typical customer. So the first thing is when we had a jury, and it was a very high-profile jury. So they liked the project, they liked MVP and everything, but they were pretty very much uncertain about whether the customer is right or whether they will really pay the team or whether the startup will work or not. So all of them uh, gave this comment ki it might not work. You won't be able to earn money. I think they might use it for 1 year. Somebody can use it, but it will not be a sustainable startup. So otherwise, the system is good. That was the general comment. So after that jury, we were a team of five. So next, in within next 2 3 days, the three of my team member decided to leave based on their comments and everything. This thought it's a very generic answer, and I think it won't be sustainable. And what we will do if we fail? So we definitely I tried to convince them, but they ultimately leave. They have decided to leave. So that was the first challenge when I lost, let's say, 60% of my team, and only two of were there. And personally, I was very distressed because we already invested 8 months of very hard work and too much of nights, spending nights and hard work. So uh, we thought we are already in pain. We have already given so much, and I lost so many opportunities for uh, commencing my own startup. So I will try and I will get something, whether I won't be paid or whether a startup won't be uh, continue after one. But at least one Nashik police with which we are working, they should take at least one of our software. They should use it, whether they pay or not, but they should use it because our hard work should not go in vain. So for the next 2 months, 3 months, we tried that only. We ultimately got an NOC. Okay, we will use it. If it is useful for us, we will pay you. We will purchase it. So they gave this NOC. I showed it NOC to one of the jury member, which was CTO of TCS, Mr. Anant Krishna. So they also gave us go ahead. Okay, I am giving you 6 months. Let's see what you can achieve. So in the next 6 months, ultimately we got not only Nashik, we got a paid customer as Palghar Police also. Then we reformed the team. So uh, the the major issue is we were quite very uncertain whether this startup will work or not. And my team member left, and we didn't have cash. After this, government is not going to pay that easily. So because the image of government is typically very hard and the process is very difficult, you have to get work order and you have to get three companies who will apply for the tender and you have to clear the tender. After tendering, you have to make a report. Then they will pay you. So it was quite difficult and we were quite very new. How to register a company, how to secure or sell, how to. So we have to do a lot of expenditure. I have uh, invested all of my savings and everything. My co-founder also invested his savings and everything. This was the one major issue. There is a lot of cash crunch. You have to invest a lot, and you have to manage your team. You have to manage your customer. You have to manage your users. And getting the first customer, I think all the startup can verify this. Getting first customer is actually very difficult. Uh, he does not care because he's the first customer. He can bully you. He can do anything you want. We were like waiting 8 hours to 10 hours outside DCP office just to get a 5 minutes meeting or something like that. So we have gone through that. Now uh, we have very good terms with all of our customers, and now the ultimately we close that. So this is a general problem which I think every startup will face, more or less. Having a good cash flow, good cash crunch, getting a paid customer, first customer, and managing your team. You have to inspire, you have to convince your team members to stay, to believe in you, to believe in a vision and everything. So that is.
So thanks, COVID, for telling us your story about did you overcome all your the issues and the problems which you face. I think the audience will listen to it, will see that, and will follow what you said. That okay, the problems will come, but you need to have that determination to solve all the issues. You need to be there and hold on your fort, okay, till the time you get success, okay. So we all know that you have done so many projects. So just tell me about which is your favorite project and why it is failed.
Okay. So after the quite very successful implementation of Third Eye, we had very good terms with 2 or 3 DCPs and SCPs who are actually uh, have the same vision. They wanted some technology to include in other processes. So we were, by that time we have implemented Third Eye. We actually digitized around 10 processes, digitized and enhanced and completely reformed the 10 to 15 processes. So we were trying to digitize the Muddemal system. Muddemal is the any of the logistics in the police department, like their own logistics in the police station, or whatever they seize, the abandoned vehicles or whatever. So we were trying to digitize these, and we were thinking we will put a QR code in each and every vehicle and system. So we actually were only on these thinking terms, and we were sitting in a crime meeting. So crime meetings is a monthly meeting where all the officers, IPS officers, and senior police inspector of each and every police station, they attend, they discuss what should be done. So they were discussing about how we can enhance the patrolling, the beat marshal patrolling, the police who travel on motorbikes, and there were around 200 bikes already. So they say we right now we are just signing on register, and there are a lot of proxies, and we don't see police on the field. Even when we have given so many investment, so many people for patrolling, we don't see police on the field. So we must digitize it, and we will do it by RFID. So there we will implement around 500 RFID readers, and we will give everyone RFID cards, so they will scan it. So they were discussing the payments and what would be the cost and everything. So it was actually finalized in 10 to 12 lakhs. They will implement it. So they asked me if you have any suggestion. So I just told it, sir, we were doing a lot of things in QR code. So if you allow us, we will just try a QR code based patrolling. This patrolling in one police station we will start, and we will give an update on Third Eye Android application. We will just scan the QR code while patrolling. So we will the GPS location, we will know everything, and when the time when we scan, we will make some system like this. So there would be no proxies, and it would be a touchless system rather than RFID. They don't have to carry anything. They already have the mobile phone. They will just scan. from 5 meter of distance they can scan it. So commissioner allowed us, okay, do the pilot and show us the result. So we identified 30 locations in one area and in one police station, and we placed the 30 QR codes and trained some 5 to 6 beat marshals, and they did patrolling and everything. And actually, the result was quite fantastic. The citizens were quite very happy because of this new initiative. There were already news articles. Somebody put news articles that police is starting about patrolling, and police. A lot of people, in fact, the collector office, the somebody from a municipal corporation asked, we also want QR code in front of their home. We want police to come here. Or some people we are highly, which are hotspot and everything. They want, we want more QR codes here. Police will come here. So actually, commissioner got too many calls and that's like, okay. I think this system is already working fine. So why don't we implement in all of the Nashik city? So instead of initially they were planning for 500 locations, now we have implemented around 2,000 QR codes in Nashik city. So and we are doing a lot of analysis and everything. So and the whole infrastructure cost of this system was actually nil. They were just QR codes which we printed out and scanning out. Let's say you say 5-10,000 in printing and everything, and just a very frugal innovation. This system actually been developed with a very basic idea. Ki, why don't we just scan the QR code rather than RFID? So we were able to save, let's say, 10 lakhs of police department. We just charge whatever the software cost is there, and the result was quite very fantastic. And we got lot of we and in fact the police got lot of name and quite. So this was quite interesting, and I think uh, it's more famous than Third Eye because now we got most of the calls from other police department for this system only. We also want QR code system, and now Pune police has started using it. They have placed around 6,000 QR codes. Even now in the Nashik city, they use QR code where there are containment zones, Corona containment zones. So there is clearly written this is a containment zone, and police will come, and if anybody is found there, you will be. So there are too many applications of this system, and because it was a clear case of frugal innovation, which we did in, let's say, 10 to 15 days of brainstorming and doing some experiment. So this is uh, uh, quite a good example of how a startup can actually go for innovations and everything.
Lastly, a final message from your side to the audience and to the future startup owners in the audience.
Okay, so first of all, I think if you're going for a startup, you must be so much passionate about it, so you won't leave it for at least 1 year. You should at least try for your startup for at least 1 year, or I would say at least 3 years. But the passion should be that strong. So because I think around 15 people have came and left from the disk itself, not in our own startup, but in many startup which my colleague has started, many people left after 6 months, after 3 months, or let's say after 1 year. But ultimately, if the founder stayed, they ultimately created their own startup and now they are successful. So you must be passionate, you must be persistent. So these two things are very important. Second, there are people saying, let's say now they are Paytm, now they are Google, now it is filled with so many startups. There is no opportunity left. Or so this is not like that. There is always a gap in the market. So there are lots of gaps to be filled. You just have to do some more research. You just have to understand more your customer more. You just have to empathize and more. And in India, there are so many stakeholders, so many people. Let's say Red Bus was just started for the bus people, just helping the bus owners. But now it is helping all our citizens and everything. So Paytm was initially just for the recharge purpose. Now it is uh, making so many transactions and everything. So there are so many opportunities. You just have to find the gap. and I was able to find the gap in police department. Now actually, uh, we have worked with RTO. We have given project to traffic branch, to Jila Parishad, to municipal corporation, to collector office. So and lot many opportunities are there. We are only stopping because of we have not raised any fund yet. So otherwise, there are so many challenges out there, and people are actually wanting somebody to give a solution. So I think one must try for a startup at least once.
So that's a really wonderful message for the future startup owners. I guess they would gain some perspective from your points and whatever the story you have told about your startup. So definitely we'll be seeing more startup owners who were coming through TCS Digital Impact Fair and they're sharing their stories.
On this note, we end our part one, which consisted of COVID's journey of his startup. In the next part, we would be talking to COVID again about his Maharashtra Police Travel E-Pass project. So stay tuned for the next part with COVID Savla.
Thank you, friends, for tuning into the TCS Digital Connect. Eager for the next episode? Well, stay safe and stay connected at Campus Commune for more.